Welcome to Fairlawn Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight and Networking event. These are weekly events where we spotlight a local business, we introduce them to the community and to the other members of the chamber. Also, we will be doing some networking where we do have a few other members from the Chamber of Commerce online. My name is Alan Cohen. I am co-owner with my wife, Evelyn, who's the broker-owner of Living Great Real Estate. We're a boutique agency here in Fairlawn. Today, we have a terrific company that we're going to be spotlighting. They're called Barron Financial Group. They've been in Fairlawn since 1998, and they're a member of the Fairlawn Chamber of Commerce as well. We have two representatives from the company with us today. One is Victor Cannillo, and the other is James Suazo. I'd like to introduce them and bring them into the conversation. Hi, Victor. Hi, James. Nice to see you today.
Hey, Alan. How are you? Thank you very much for having us.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's great to have you with us, and thank you for joining us. And this is a great topic about financial investments. It does say that your company is a fee-only and fiduciary firm offering financial planning, investment management, and disciplined perspectives. Could you give us a little insight on the company? And I like the title about a fee-only and fiduciary firm. So if you could, give us some insight to your company and about that in itself.
Sure. The fee only and fiduciary. I call the word fiduciary a Jersey curse word because most people don't understand what it means. More and more people are hearing about it of late. And what the fiduciary model is we have a legal obligation to put our client's interest above our own. So for example, we can have two investments, A and B. We have to put whatever is best for the client, not what's going to benefit us. So fee only means, and we always recommend to prospective clients that you should look at a fee only or fiduciary person because pretty simple we say follow the money. That's how the advice is going to be crafted in our business. So if you're going to talk to an insurance person, odds are at the end of your conversation, it's going to be an insurance solution. If you're talking, and I always use the example of you walk into a Ford dealership and you're looking for a car. Ford has big, small, fast, slow, whatever you want. But after hearing what your needs are, he's not going to say, hey, Vic, you really should, instead of the Ford Explorer, you should be looking at the GMC Acadia down the block.
Yeah.
In our model, we can choose what's best.
Right. That's terrific. So, but I mean, a lot of companies do charge a fee, but you're saying that they're also selling product from their company. Is that so? You're not actually say you want to put somebody into mutual funds. You feel that that's right for them. If you go to one of the bigger companies, of course, they're going to maybe offer you a Merrill Lynch, Wells Fargo, whatever it is, type of a fund. So you don't have your own funds in the company where you're recommending, like you said, what's best for them from wherever you might find the best value for that client.
That's correct. We could choose from the full universe of funds. We have no allegiance to any fund or any investment. So if we think Vanguard is better for a certain asset class, or we think BlackRock or we use exchange traded funds, we have no allegiance. So and I think that's a big reason what people like, you know.
That's great. So I know we jumped right into that. I said that sentence, which is good. So we're getting more into the details. Could you give us a little bit more of a background of Barron Financial Group? Because you have been in Fairlawn since 1998, and many people may not know of you as well. So give us a little background on the company itself, and bring us up to date. Because
I was the founder. We started in '98. in Fairlawn on Broadway, right across the street from the Dunkin' Donuts. Now we're on Route 208 South on 16-00 by the Fairlawn Avenue exit. We've been there probably 15 years. And really what attracted me to even start to be in this model was the whole concept of the fee-only / fiduciary model. Because when I was initially going to go into this business, and at that time you might remember Smith Barney and some of those older names, I went to interview with all of them, and of course they wanted to hire me because they're just looking for a body and then to bring your friends and family in. I just couldn't, morally I couldn't do it because I felt, and in there it was true, like they would have a bulletin board at that time, and this is what we have to sell this week. But then I finally found this organization called NAPFA, National Association of Personal Financial Advisors. There's 3,000 of us, and out of probably 25,000, they're the true fee-only fiduciary model, and that's really what attracted me to even go in this business 25 years ago.
So you started 25 years ago. Do you come from a financial background, education-wise?
Education-wise, yes. I graduated with a finance and investment degree, locally out of Fairleigh Dickinson, and I did take a bunch of, at that time, graduate level courses at NYU, and that's just the base of what you need. But I felt that I had to be 100% right with it before I was gonna start it.
Well, you want to be proud of what you're selling, and you don't want to just be a salesman and just pontificating and selling whatever it is. That's a whole different story. But I look at the company, and you do have quite a few people there. I mean, how many personnel do you have at the?
We have 10 total at the firm. Obviously, when I first started, you're pretty much just on your own, and this is built up over the years. Mm-hmm. And we have a diverse, and really even our ratio from client to Barron team, we have 10 people working on 250 people. So that's a very high ratio from team member to a client. If you walk into a big brokerage box store, usually one advisor is taking care of 150 to 200 clients. Right. So they're not going to be able to get the same comprehensive financial planning and investment management as we do. And like you mentioned for yourself, Alan, we're a boutique by design. We are not looking to be the biggest in North Jersey. We're just looking to be the best at what we do, constantly adding value. And most of our business comes from existing clients or attorneys and CPAs understanding the way we operate.
Right. Very good. All right. So, and now let's hear from James a minute. So now we know a little bit about the company and yourself, Victor. James, how do you fit into this picture, and how long have you been with Barron Financial Group?
Great question. Thank you, Alan. So I've been with Barron Financial Group. I think we're going on about 5 years now, the time. But 5 years. And really how that started is I graduated with a financial planning degree out of William Patterson. I started at Rutgers Business School in Newark, ended up finding, I was passionate about financial planning and helping others. And so I found a program through a professor of mine at William Patterson that really has a degree specifically for financial planning. So took that leave junior year, transferred over there, and through that opportunity was able to find an internship at Barron Financial Group, where I started out, and that was about, I think, 6 years now. And after college, just loved the area, loved the people that I worked with. So I decided to stay at Barron Financial Group, and what I do now is operate as an associate financial planner, which is helping clients bring together, like Victor mentioned, we do financial planning and investment management. So really helping clients bring together all their goals, their resources, really diving into that and creating a plan for the future. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but we can plan for certain scenarios. And that's kind of what what my role is here at Barron, amongst many other little things. But the main point I would say is helping within that financial planning aspect.
So do you have to, I mean, both of you, do you go out and solicit your own clients? I mean, or are a lot of them, like you said, might have been recommended from attorneys and stuff, but how do you go out into the community to get new clients? And that's one. And number two is, because we talked earlier about the internet and stuff, are most of your clients local, or do you have clients that really could come from anywhere because you are also working online?
No, to answer the first part, the way we operate, which is a little unusual in the industry, is that every client is a client of the firm. It's not Vic's clients, James' client, and any one of our other advisors' clients. And clients like that because a lot of people could talk about, hey, I'm part of a team. But here it is true because we will always have two advisors and one client service person on each team. We kind of work on each client. We kind of work on in pods. And the way I think your question was how we get business. We're local. We're local. Obviously, most of our business, I would say 95% of our business started need business. You have to remember, this is a big decision for people. And we take it very seriously. Unfortunately, the average person out there, they'll spend more time figuring out what car or refrigerator to buy and do the due diligence on that versus am I going to be with the right fit of a financial advisor?
Right.
So really the way we get business, Alan, was it is local. We do belong to this organization I mentioned before, this fee-owing organization. So what happens is people now have been educated, or unfortunately, a lot of them have been burned. And then they find out about this model. And then they find out about NAPFA. Now they could put their zip code in, and then it'll give them the list of what's around. But they push to say, you should talk to 3 advisors, make sure they fit their profile. So that is definitely a source for us. And the other way is just doing the right thing by people. Our fit is for someone who has accumulated assets. We call them lifetime assets, or they're growing assets, and they don't want to lose it, but they do want to stay ahead of inflation. They do want to stay ahead of inflation in taxes. So that's predominantly our client is not someone who says, how fast can you double my money? We say that's not us, but if anybody could answer that, we would say, run, don't walk out of their office.
Right. Yeah, you got to take a steady. Now, it does say that you represent, obviously, individuals, families, and also companies. It says organizations.
Right. The organizations would be a lot of nonprofits, organizations, because in the nonprofit space, the word fiduciary they need to go to a fiduciary. And the reason is because anybody in their congregation, in their whatever it might be, could say, wait a second, how is this person getting paid? Is he looking out for the benefit of the organization or for themselves?
Yes.
So, and that's another way why people find us, and not just us. I mean, this fiduciary concept. It protects that organization because the onus would be on us if we did not follow this. If we did not follow this, the onus is on us, not on them. So they want that level of protection.
Sure. Okay, great. Now,
Alan,
yeah, sure.
Just to go back to, I just want to make sure we answer all your questions. We do have the ability to, as clients retire and maybe, some of them may move away to different states, we do have the ability to do video conferencing. That is something that, obviously now during this time, we're going to see more of. But we feel strongly that, we are able to service all our clients through virtual meetings, and if that is something that they would like.
Right. You mentioned that to me earlier before. So obviously you get a middle age or in 50s or 60s, they're with you X amount of time. Then they retire and move to Florida. They don't have to now, they're not local anymore. They don't have to look for, a company in Florida to switch their assets to. You could still manage their financial account from here. And of course, they'd be more comfortable in this format where we're online looking at each other, so they know they're talking to a real person. So do many of your clients? I mean, because it does say that you deal with Social Security planning, retirement planning, healthcare planning, all that stuff. So are you finding a lot of clients moving out of state that you are dealing with? Maybe not you and just James or Victor, but the company itself. Do a lot of people move out and still retain you guys?
Yeah, I mean, and we do have a presence in Sarasota, Florida. We have an office in Sarasota, but we are retained, through that. There's no doubt. I don't know if James, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I would say, when we have clients that come to us prior to retirement, we work to create that financial plan, which is, okay, let's talk about, when's the right time to take Social Security, Medicare planning, all these kind of services. And we do take into account, clients' goals. Obviously, everybody has a different goal and what they value is different, but we like to put that together. So some of our clients may say, I want to downsize. I don't, want to stay in New Jersey. I want to go to Florida, Colorado, wherever it may be. How does that work? How does that work for me in my financial plan? So we help with all those questions.
Terrific. So how long have you guys been members of the Fair Lawn Chamber of Commerce, or, a rough idea?
I mean, I bet you if it's not 20 years, it's 17 years.
Really?
The way we participate, we used to go once in a while to the luncheons, but now, like I was saying before we got on, that we've been on the Zooms quite a bit, but now James is looking to get more involved, but also more involved in that young professional. But we do participate in, like right now, I think the Flags program just came out. We see an email on that. We participate in the Flags program. Obviously, we like to think that we're doing a nice job with the Fair Lawn Food Bank. That's kind of like we make donations in clients' names to the Fair Lawn Food Bank. That's like our first.
Not money from their account, just donating for them. That's
exactly right. Yes. No, it's in honor of the client, of our clients. We make regular donations to the Fair Lawn Food Bank for the golf outings. We donate all the water. We actually have water that has Barron, the Barron label on it. So for the golf outing and the Taste of Fair Lawn, so we we do go to a few things like the Taste of Fair Lawn, and but over the years ago, I think there was different. I know you had the holiday party we would go, but now we have a few younger guys coming in now, such as James and another gentleman, Nick, who I would like to have them start to get more involved.
Great. So I like that a lot. I mean, community outreach is so important that the donations that you're putting out, whether it's a lot or a little, I'm sure it's more. Some events cost you more than others. It's a great way to put your name in front of other people in the community. And of course, hopefully that does bring some clients, but it does show that you're community, oriented, your company, which is great.
We're definitely a believer in that. I don't know who said it, but one person can't help everyone, but everyone could help someone.
Don't mind if I use like that one.
But part of our profits do go to charities, and even when people, for example, if any one of our clients or their family members passes on, we always reach out and say we would like to make a donation in their memory. So we believe in that stuff, and we're kind of in the camp, Alan, that if you do good things happen. We're not like a quid pro quo type of situation, and it's worked over the last 25 years or close to it, anyways.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I do see that you also work with, families for college planning. Uh, do a lot of young people now these days, and I want to get into the COVID-19 about financials in 1 second, but are a lot of young people starting to invest in college on their own? I know we had my daughter started up with one, and we told her at least, believe it or not, put $25 away in this account. I mean, she does it in different accounts, but put it away for your college or put this away for that. Are you finding younger people today a little bit more interested in finances and also looking ahead? It's hard for them to look ahead at 20 or 22, but what are you finding for, college students?
Well, I mean, are you talking about parents with getting ready to pay? Okay.
A lot of times a parent might put away for it, but also as that child becomes a young adult, are you also trying to outreach to some of them to say, look, if you start putting $25 or $50 away now, by the time you are retirement age, you're going to be a millionaire,
Yeah, no, we do put that out in our, we do a blog post every week, and we do have somewhat of a consistent, educational message out there for people. I think, like recently, what happens, I think, to a young family is when they have if they're going to have when they have children, then things start to get more serious.
Sure.
So now they say, oh boy, this little person is relying on me. And almost like the first week that they're born, they want to say, what, should I open up a 529? We do like the 529, but no one should ever buy a 529. We recommend there's no reason that a person should be sold a 529 with a commission on it. We like, now in the last probably 5 or 6 years, we like the Utah Saves 529, and the main reason is it's run by Vanguard, and it also has the lowest cost expense ratio. And what they do is, instead of you trying to figure out the allocation of money, they use age weighted. So when the baby or child is from 1 to 5, it's going to be more aggressive. From 5 to 10, a little bit less. And then when the child is starting to hit 16 and 17, it starts to become much more conservative. So when the need is there, when they need it for 18 or 19 years old, that the money will be there.
Right. Do you find that the more money that a couple might put away for their children, the more money that they put away, the less financial aid they might get from a school or college? Are they looking at what assets that you have? So some people went to that school of, well, if I saved all the money, I'm spending all the money, where if I get more financial aid because I have less, it's not really coming from my pocket. Do you ever see that?
I don't know, James, do you have anything on that with the financial aid?
I think where we come into play with that is when we have clients that are trying to balance, what should I do? Should I save more for college or for retirement? I think that's really where we get the majority of the questions of, do I keep funding this 529 plan, or do I, maximize the 401k? And that's really where the planning strategies for us come into play. Victor always likes to say, when you retire, your son or daughter is going to have many more years to work than you are when they finish college. So keeping that, that's something that we take into consideration when we are doing different planning strategies. And obviously with the 529, it depends on, we like Utah, but it also depends on where you live, because some states may offer tax deductions. So there's many different factors, and every situation is a little different. So it depends on, really comes down to where we say, your personal economy. That's kind of where we get most of the college planning questions.
And just to add to that, Alan, we've seen a lot of situations, because let's face it, most people, when they have their children, they want to do everything for their child, most people. But we've seen situations where clients are coming in and they're 55, 60, and 65. their children's education, PhDs, MBAs, whatever it might be, is all paid for. But now the people who are getting ready to retire cannot.
Yeah.
And let's face it, once that money has been given to the child, the parent is not going to go back and say, hey, remember when I paid, for your college? I need money now. So we've seen situations where clients now have to work longer because of that. And I have 2 children who are older now, and I understand the feeling, but it can be dangerous. If you asked us where you should put money first, because after of course you want to go to some sort of a rainy day fund or 6 months to 12 months of, I'm just giving a rule of thumb without knowing the person's personal economy. Then we would say the next thing is the retirement. And the last thing, believe it or not, is for the child's education. Because when you're now 60 and you're 55 or 60, whatever the number is, and your child is just graduating from whatever school or trade school, they have another 40 years longer of work ahead of them. Sure. Where the parent is kind of on the back 9, to use a golf term. So,
yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, just the quick comparison. I mean, you're on an airplane and God forbid something's happening. They tell you put your air mask, your mask on first so that you're well and strong enough to take care of your young one. Like you're saying that the adults do have to take care of themselves, because by the time they're that age, you spent for all that child. I mean, you want to help them as much as you can, but you do have to be stable. Because we're getting towards the end of this, I just want to ask the one question, and then we're going to open up to our guests that are patiently waiting. Since the COVID-19, the pandemic, have you seen financial strategies changing? Because obviously a lot of people might be out of work. They're grabbing money from different accounts that they might have to keep them afloat. Some are going on unemployment. God forbid they have to do forbearance or sell their house. What are you seeing specifically to the environment financial environment that we're in right now?
And it is a great question. Now, nobody ever knew this was going to happen, but since the beginning, we always had something called lifeboat drills. That there will always, odds are a person will have an income interruption from something. It could be from health or from their job. So we kind of planned for that. We didn't, obviously nobody knew that this was going to happen. So the people who are the most affected by this, they reach out to us. But we know their circumstance, 100% of their circumstance, what their income is or lost income, what their bills are, mortgage, everything. So now when we sit with those people, and the reason for the lifeboat drills is nothing goes straight up. Life is dynamic. When people are healthy, most people, when they're healthy and they're making money and they're covering their bills, most people are relatively happy. But that's not life. So our job really is to protect all the downsides, the what ifs. So, but by a person having first a cash cushion of just to pay bills for 6 months to a year. But another thing that we recommend for all clients, no matter what age, is to have a home equity credit line available. And we're not saying that the person has to go out and use it and go on extravagant vacations, but we recommend it to bridge money. And that's what's happening now.
Well, yeah.
With a lot of our clients.
Right. So just say you build up equity in your house, you have an extra 50, an extra 100,000 of equity, or at least open up the accounts so that if you do get stuck, you could grab it. But the problem is a lot of people might be spending it and putting in the patio outside or the deck or the new windows. And before you know it, you're tapped out and you owe $800 a month on a home equity line that now you're strapped. So you got to do that. You do have to have a strong discipline not to spend that extra credit. And You have to have that strong discipline, but how does that affect your credit rating now that you have that much more available to you? Does that affect your credit rating, that you're not spending enough, or that you have too much open asset, open equity for yourself?
Well, I think, just to back up a little bit, is the home equity credit line is dissolved. The reason we tell people to get it is to get it when you're in a position of strength. The bank will never loan you money when you need it. Okay. As far as credit score, I really can't answer 100% to that. But most of our clients, and we really push this on clients, and they do get it. We tell our clients, because obviously we're managing a portfolio, we do financial planning very comprehensively, and everybody could say that, but we dig pretty deep into the financial planning part. But clients know to lean on us with anything with a dollar sign in front of it. So it does not have to be related to the portfolio. Because the more we could shield a client from a big money mistake, the better for them, the better for their children, the better for us. So we kind of proactively get ahead of this. Does that make sense, Alan?
Yeah, I think it makes total sense. You're looking at the whole financial well-being. I mean, obviously, if you're only looking at one side and the other side starts to fall apart, they're going to have to pull out. They're going to have to change their whole thing, which might affect their relationship with you.
And a lot of the questions we get are, hey, I'm looking to buy a car. Should I lease it, finance it? If I do finance it, how much should I put down? I'm looking to buy a home. A second home, a first home, how should I pay for it? So we're kind of putting together this puzzle for them. And the big thing what we do is, all of our clients are bright in their own way. Everybody has their circle of competency. This happens to be our circle of competency that we do every day. So clients sometimes will reach out to us and say, hey guys, hey gals, this is what I'm thinking about doing. I did my due diligence, and we might say, sounds right, you have option A or B, but a lot of times, because we're arm's length away from the decision, we can now say, have you thought about also options C and D?
Sure.
And that's a big part of our added value to clients.
Right.
We always tell clients, our job is not to tell you what to do with your money, it's to give you options.
Right.
And to help protect you.
All right, great. That's been a terrific interview. I want to thank Victor Cannillo and James Suazo for being with us today. They're representatives of Barron's Financial Group. They're here in Fairlawn since 1998. So if you don't know them, please look them up. If you're looking for some financial advisors and managers, please look up Barron's Financial Group, and you can tell by these two gentlemen, they're very well into it. They love what they do. They love helping the community. They love helping their clients. I want to thank both of you very much. And
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
we have a mighty panel coming on right now. We have Evelyn Cohen, we have Robin Frizzell, Victoria Schrager, and if we're lucky enough to have Stu join us, come on, everybody. Can you start, or you need me to start, you guys? Hi there, Robin. How are you?
Mute. Good. How are you? That was informative.
Very informative.
I just, I don't remember if you said at the beginning, Victor, I know that you're not like a stockbroker, you're a financial advisor, which is great. And we've actually just started using one also. So do you use I know you don't make money like on the trades and things like that. So do you get a percentage of what the whole portfolio is?
That's correct. Actually, our client's money is custodied at Charles Schwab. We don't work for Charles Schwab, but that's where we custody clients' money. And we do charge an annual fee. I would say it's approximately 1%, depending on the size of the assets. And then what happens is we fee that every quarter, so 0.25 every quarter. But
Right.
the things like James just mentioned is all included in that fee. If a person's of Medicare age, we have an outside Medicare consultant that will, she's under HIPAA law, will speak to them, set them up. They have access to her all the time. Barron pays the freight on her. That's another, it's an added value. Another one we do is Social Security timing. It is very important. It's not just, well, first of all, Medicare is not a set it and forget it. People think it's a set it and forget it, but your situation has changed on a yearly basis, good, bad, or indifferent. But also, Congress makes little nuanced changes that people don't realize in there.
I'm taking notes because my husband's 64.
Yeah. And really what you want to do there, suggestion only, is not to go, again, there's so many consultants out there. Like the person we use, she just charges by the hour. It does not matter to her. She's just trying to find out what's best for you, similar to our philosophy. So it doesn't matter if it's AARP, Silver Scripts, and now you have part A, B, C, D, donut hole. I mean, how are people going to figure this stuff out? We didn't want to touch it because we were getting half of our clients are Medicare age. We didn't want to touch it, but I did find a Medicare consultant, and I had her in with my uncle and one of my best friends to make sure that she was going to be doing the right thing. And sure enough, you have to watch out for the people who, like, I go back to the Ford dealership. If they're selling the product, be careful of where the advice is going to be crafted. And nobody ever asked this question. Everybody knows how everybody gets paid in most industries, right? How Alan gets paid, how the dentist gets paid. But for some reason, people will hand over a big chunk of their money and not ask, how are you compensated?
Right. Everybody's got to get paid. So there's
everybody has to get paid.
No such thing as a free lunch.
Everybody has to get paid, but you want to make sure that the advice is aligned with you. And in the financial industry now, there's a choice.
Right. I think that 1% is generally like the going rate from when we were looking around. And then also, I didn't hear you say, most of these, like most wealth financial advisors have a minimum portfolio. Do you have a minimum for your clients?
Yeah, and that's a very good question. We have an informal, you know what? We would say we take it case by case. We take it case by case because obviously we have clients and they want to have their children with us or their grandchildren with us, and we're going to bring it. But then we don't want to say, hey, we have a minimum of 250,000, 500, and then the person hangs. Anybody who calls into us or emails us, we will give them time to see if we can help them or direct them, and we can see if they're a good fit for us. But we don't have a hard number on that.
Okay, that's unusual. I think most, because I've been in advertising for 20 years, I've met a lot of financial advisors over the years, and usually they're $500,000 or $1 million or $2 million.
And I get it, but guess what? So many times we did right by, let's say, and I'm thinking of an example that just came on. The daughter came to talk to us, a young woman came to talk, and we just gave her an hour and a half of time. And we said, here's what we're recommending. At this point, we're not really a good fit for us. You just got married. You should look at this, this, and this. Make sure you get your estate planning docs done. If you have a child with the insurance. And they went on their merry way. But 2 years later, she called and said, my dad just retired. Now the dad's coming in. So we're not into that hard stop. I mean,
right. We're always
James.
We're always willing, and we say it quite often. We're always willing to give a second opinion on your current investments, to help in any way we can. Sorry, we do a lot of pro bono work. We just want to do right by the community, by people in our area, by anybody who's looking, for information. And if we can't help you, we're going to look for somewhere to direct you.
Terrific.
That's great. That's great.
And if I could, so you said that you're a fiduciary. That language is very familiar to me in the real estate world because we have a fiduciary responsibility to our clients, which is, to legally uphold, everything that is necessary to service that client ethically and all the other things that we have to service them with. But you keep kind of saying that, and yet I have a financial advisor that I'm pretty happy with, and they are one of the big outfits. And I wasn't sure if, in fact, they have a fiduciary responsibility to me. However, I did ask, and I believe he did say yes. Are you saying that across the board, most financial advisors do not have a fiduciary responsibility to their clients? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's correct. 98% of advisors out there are not a fiduciary. The big box firms cannot be fiduciary. They're verbally saying it, but if you ask them, we have an oath we have to sign to the client. If you ask them to have them sign that oath, it's going to be, daylight to a vampire. They're not going to. Their fiduciary responsibility is to the shareholder.
Right.
Our fiduciary responsibility is to the client. And I'm not saying, does that mean that an advisor is bad? There's no. If he's operating the right way, then that's fine. But a lot of them, unfortunately, the people we get a lot of times, unfortunately, first of all, they never knew how much they were paying. We had a very bright person say, well, I was at this firm. It was a bank. I was at this firm, and, I really can't expect much because they never really charged me. And I said, let's just call him. I said, John, think about what you just said. So now what we did was, not us, we had a firm extrapolate his expense ratios because everything was baked in. When he found out how much he was paying, he was ready to kill them because they don't have to disclose it. And the reason is, if you look in the 2-point font of any of these big brokerage firms, right now, most of our business, Barron is small, but there's a lot of us, what they call registered investment advisors out there with boutique firms. There's 22,000 of us out there now, but we have $1.50 to spend on marketing. The way people find us is usually after they get educated or after, unfortunately, they had a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Victoria, would you like to add something? I know you work a lot with the elderly and a lot of retired people. Why don't you chime in a little bit?
I'm curious about the process of vetting investments. How do you, I'm assuming that you personally, James and Victor, are not the ones doing the research. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you do research as well, but I am guessing that you have feeds and maybe a team of people who are researching. What do you use really to figure out what's the best options for people to go into and invest?
It's a great question, and we do get that quite a bit. And the question is, hey, you guys are going to tell me that your 10-person firm has more research power than Merrill Lynch, right? Or research power. But guess what? Merrill Lynch's research is only to Merrill Lynch. We could choose again, just like any investment, we choose the research we want to use. We're not a Merrill Lynch broker or salesperson is using Merrill Lynch research. Right. For us, we do not have to do that. We have and we have filters, Victoria. We have filters on everything. Where you might have a filter on an expense ratio, you have a filter on manager tenure. Is it an exchange traded fund? Is it? We don't use any of these front-loaded or back-loaded funds. And then after that filter, with the research, then we might come up with a half a dozen or 10. Then now we pick what we want to pick. But we have no allegiance to the investment. So what happens is, just picture a baseball team, and we're the manager of the baseball team, and we brought in the first baseman. We're paying him, just use a number, we're paying him a lot of money to play first base. if that manager starts to, just like a first base, starts to make errors, they're kind of falling behind their benchmark, we might say, hold it. This is a very good manager. He's done very good in the past. Let's give him a little bit leeway. But if he's still not matching against his peer group, we fire him. I mean, we have no allegiance to him because we're going to put whatever's best for the client. We predominantly use, but the mutual funds we use are on the institutional side, meaning the wholesale side. And we use exchange traded funds and we use individual bonds. We will never use a bond mutual fund. Very, very dangerous. People think.
Why is that?
A bond mutual fund is okay. When you own a bond, now we're going to loan $50,000 to the town of Fairlawn, municipality. Everything is AAA. And Fairlawn says, hey guys, for the next I'm just making this up now, for the next 5 years, we're going to give you a 3% return back on your money. So what happens is, with an individual bond, we buy the bond. We always are able to buy the bond cheaper than if you were calling to buy a bond, because we're getting in at wholesale. Okay, we buy the bond. Every 6 months, we get coupon interest. At the end of the 5 years, we get our $50,000 back. In a mutual fund, people think bond mutual funds are safe, very dangerous. And the reason I wish we could use the bond mutual funds, but using individual bonds is more work. But again, it's the right thing for the client. The bond mutual fund started off exactly the same thing. I'm going to give them $50,000 and they're going to give me a 3% return based on the price of that day. Okay. I'm getting my 3%. But at the end of whatever term, let's just use the same 5 years, it's not going to be able to return you back to $50,000. It could be more, it could be less, because it's based on interest rates. Mm-hmm. Interest rates and bonds have an inverse relationship. As interest rates go down, which they have been, bond prices are going up. But you don't know what that's going to be 5 years from now. We want the certainty. So if interest rates are going down 5 years from now, and you think you're going to pull your $50,000 out, your bond value, net asset value, will be less. So we create bond ladders. Most advisors don't want to do this because it takes a lot of work. But we only are in the what they call investment grade, AAA municipalities, predominantly, or general general obligation bonds.
Right. Terrific. Great answer. Really informative. I'm going to wrap it up right now. Thank you to all our guests. Once again, thank you, James Suazo and Cannillo from Barron's Financial Group here in Fairlawn since 1998. Please look them up. Great advisors right here. I want to thank Victoria, and Robin, and Evelyn, who just left, for being a guest. And really great webinar. Thank you very much. And we look forward to seeing you all live sometime, somewhere.
Yes,
that's right.
Definitely.
Yes, everybody stay well.
Okay, thank you, Alan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Victor. Very informative.
Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you.
Once again, my name is Alan Cohen, Managing Director of Living Great Real Estate here in Fairlawn, Board of Directors of the Fairlawn Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to thank the Fairlawn Chamber of Commerce for allowing us to do this webinar. Everyone stay safe, stay well, and as we open up, be careful out there. Thank you very much. Everybody be well. Thank you.
Thank you.